Welcome, friends. I'm Yvonne Davis. Today is Tuesday, October 6, 2020, and today's video is titled, Trump is Drowning. So before I pull up the charts, I just want to ask if you're new to my channel or haven't yet subscribed, please click on the red box and subscribe so that I can grow my channel and we can get this message out and create a community. All right, so I'm going to pull up some information. Also want to say that if any of you are needing a reading, please look for the link in the description box below. I know I've had some requests in email, but with this new schedule of trying to make videos every day, I admit I'm having a hard time responding to all the emails I get all the time. So that's the easiest thing for you to do is just click on the link in the description box below if you want a reading. Okay, so I'm going to start with this. And you've seen this before, especially in the video titled Chaos and Order for Trump and Everyone Else. And because this was my forecast. And so I started this in late September. And that's when I made the video, Chaos and Order. And so we can see what's already happened. We had Saturn direct and his taxes were made public as Saturn stationed. And then Mars squared Saturn and Trump bombed in the debate. And then on the full moon of Thursday, October 1st, Hope Hicks tested positive for CV, or at least it was announced at that time. And then the moon conjunct Mars squared Saturn on Friday, October 2nd, and Trump and Melania were quarantined at the White House. And then very soon after that, the news came out that they had tested positive. And then Pluto went direct on Sunday, October 4th, but as it stations direct, it's already starting to have its effect. So we are discovering all this information about not only Hope Hicks, but also Trump and Melania. And it's now reached 18 people. Most of them were either somehow related to the debate prep, or at the Rose Garden event on September 26th. And this number of 18 includes 3 journalists. So these are people who are in contact with Trump. And I'm sure that number is going to continue to grow. So we'll have to watch the news and see, like all the numbers of people who have been impacted by this and how they're doing. The last news I heard, Chris Christie was also hospitalized. So we're just going to have to keep watching this. And then I said Monday actually had good alignments, and that's when Trump returned to the White House, but he was clearly out of breath. I mean, anyone who with eyeballs could see that. It was so obvious after just walking up the steps, but it's understandable. I mean, he is sick. But he's trying to pretend like, he's stronger than the virus. Okay, so now we're moving to October 7th, which is tomorrow. Today's the 6th as I'm making this video, and I've been talking a lot about Mercury in opposition to Uranus on October 7th, that would bring shocking words and information. So some possibilities might be related to the Eric Trump testimony. He's supposed to, this is what I heard, like I'm not saying like that I'm perfect, that I know everything, but as I try to gather information to help you guys stay up to date, that's the latest that I had heard. So, if you guys have more up-to-date information, please leave it in the comments below so we can all stay up to date. And then the Harris-Pence debate is also on October 7th. And of course, we might learn anything related to the CV diagnoses. That's plural, meaning not just Trump, but all the other people surrounding him. And might hear news about the stock market and Trump's shutdown of the stimulus package negotiations. So those are all the things that I know of so far, and it could even be something outside of that. And then one of my subscribers mentioned the Sabian symbol for 10 to 11 degrees of Scorpio is a drowning man being rescued. I thought, wow, that's really fascinating. So I'm going to switch us over to the chart, and I'm going to show you what the chart looks like in light of that Sabian symbol, and also in light of some other things as well. So I had mentioned that I knew October 7th was going to be difficult because of the Mercury Uranus opposition, and it's also opposing Lilith up here. You can see that that's Uranus and Lilith in Taurus, and this is Mercury down here in Scorpio. And I had also mentioned on October 7th, the sun is also conjunct Trump's Chiron, which is a place of wounding. Chiron, I really need to study more on that, but apparently it actually might be a comet. So that's kind of interesting, you know, but it's a fairly large object. So it's interesting because astrologers use it, and they talk about it as being a place of wounding in a person's life. So with the sun conjunct Chiron for him, he's definitely experiencing a wounding, or a wounding is being reactivated for him. Okay, so here we go. I said pay attention to October 7th, which is tomorrow, and also October 9th, and then of course all the dates beyond that as well. But this is a chart I want to look at today, the October 9th chart, where we see Mars retrograde at 22 degrees of Aries is squaring Pluto at 22 degrees, 30 minutes of Capricorn. So that's a cardinal square. So that's pretty serious. And I did say that was actually a potential signature for death. So I am not predicting that. I want to be very clear. If it happens, I will actually be shocked. I will truly, truly, truly be shocked. But what I will say is that he is in danger. You know, and he may be pretending to be healthy. He is not healthy. He's in danger. And so, you know, I don't know exactly. Well, let me just leave it there. I'll just say, yes, he is definitely in danger. This is his sixth house of work and body, and body and health. And it's right over his vertex, which is fate. And the vertex is also conjunct the North Node. So everything is right over his full moon eclipse in his natal chart. So this is all very, very karmic, okay? Well, that's pretty obvious. You don't even have to look at a chart to see that. Okay, so so we talked about October 7th. Now you've seen the chart for October 9th. So the interesting thing here is that Mercury is in Scorpio, which is a water sign, and it is at 10 degrees, 32 minutes of Scorpio. So there's a couple of things I want to show you related to that. So first, I'll just really quickly jump back over to that list of dates. And as I said, you know, one of my viewers left a comment saying that, reminding me, I hadn't even thought of that the Sabian symbol is from 10 to 11 degrees Scorpio is a drowning man being rescued. Okay. And that's where Mercury is in Scorpio. It's between 10 to 11 degrees Scorpio. So go back and look at that really quickly. Mercury between 10 to 11 degrees Scorpio. Now, Scorpio is water, okay? And Mercury itself is like the air we breathe, okay? In fact, the planets actually rule different parts of the body. And Mercury is the ruler of the lungs. So Mercury rules Gemini, and Gemini and Mercury rule the lungs. So lungs are ruled by the sign of Gemini and the planet Mercury. Okay. So let's go back and look at that chart again. And knowing these two things, now we've seen the Sabian symbol for 10 to 11 degrees of Scorpio, and Mercury is the planet that is in that degree point. So bring all this information together, and what do we see? We see Mercury, the planet that rules the lungs, is between 10 and 11 degrees of Scorpio. A drowning man is being rescued, and it's in water. Okay. You know, that's what happens with this disease, is that you literally drown in your own fluids. Your lungs fill up with fluid. It's the immuno response. And now, I'm no doctor or anything, so, you know, I'm an astrologer. I'm just telling you, you know, again, I'm not perfect. I don't know everything. I will take total responsibility for anything related to astrology, and I do have a degree in political science and economics, but, you know, this other stuff is just stuff that I've had to do research on. So I don't know everything about this virus, but that's my understanding, is that one of the problems why people have to be put on respirators is because of the immuno response is that their lungs fill up with water. So Mercury, which rules the lungs, is in a water sign of Scorpio between 10 and 11 degrees of Scorpio, and the Sabian symbol is a drowning man is being rescued. I think that's fascinating. All this is coming together, okay? The planet Mercury ruling the lungs, the Sabian symbol, the fact that it's in Scorpio, which is a water sign, and it's opposite Uranus, which is things that are shocking. And Uranus is in Taurus, which is an earth sign. And so it rules things related to our material and physical reality, such as our bodies. Okay. So something really shocking is going to happen. And we may never know this publicly. It may never be made public. Okay. I think it actually will, though. I think the information will actually come out. And so, but I'm just telling you, that's what the astrology is saying. He's a drowning man being rescued. And that's the shocking thing there. How bad it will get, I don't know. But I think it's actually literally life-threatening with this Mars exactly square to Pluto in his 6th house of health and body, right over his vertex. Yes. And also, you know, the fact that Mars is retrograde, I told you that's like, retrograde is like, it presses inward. Okay. And so that's why, you know, so many people feel their energy tamped down with Mars retrograde, is because it is like, it's like deflating the balloon. It's going, you know, like he can't breathe. He's literally on the verge of death. I think he will pull out of it, but, you know, let me just say, if you at any point see pictures of him or video of him pretending to be healthy, he's not healthy. His life is literally in danger. And so I think that over the next few days, 7th, 8th, 9th, and even beyond, his situation is definitely going to get worse. And the other thing is that's interesting here is with the vertex and the North Node over his Sun and North Node in Gemini, that reflects back to Mercury, because, you know, I had said that both Mercury and Gemini, because Mercury rules Gemini, they rule the lungs. Okay. So the fact that the North Node and vertex is over his Sun and North Node in Gemini is also extremely meaningful. So, you know, and then that, of course, the sun takes us back to Leo, which it rules, where he has his natal Mars conjunct his ascendant. So his Mars is very depleted because of the fever. So Mars retrograde is his fever. It's literally bringing him to the brink of death. And I don't feel like I'm exaggerating. I don't think he's actually going to die, but I really think he's in danger. Okay, so so that's that chart. And then the other thing, because I have been checking in regularly today to see what the latest news is. And the only thing that I saw that really jumped out at me was that apparently they still expect him. He says he's still going to be at the debate on the 15th. So I'm like, what? That's just mind-boggling. Are you kidding me? So I wanted to see, like, well, what does that look like astrologically? So I pulled up a chart with the question, will Trump attend the second debate? It's set for the day October 15th. It's not set for the date and time of the actual debate. I just put it for the morning of October 15th in Washington, D.C., because I just wanted to see, well, like, what does it look like when he's waking up that morning? And what we see here is we still have the sun and Mars in an opposition square to Pluto and Saturn in a sixth house of body and health over his vertex. This man is not going to be at the debate. And the vertex is conjunct Mars. Okay, so let me just say, if there is any chance that he can actually show up at the debate, I mean, like physically show up. I don't just mean like zoom in. I mean, like physically show up and stand at that podium and speak. I mean, honestly, that's not an easy thing to do, even for someone who's in perfect health. I mean, right now I'm speaking to you and like, I've got a sore throat because I've been doing so many videos lately with clients and my students and on YouTube and Patreon. And like, I've already fried my own throat. And so, you know, even for a young, healthy person to stand up at a podium for a long period of time and to speak and project your voice and to project your strength and to be, you know, mentally on top of things, that's not an easy thing for even a young, healthy person to do. And he is in his mid 70s and he's just been diagnosed with CV and he's definitely shown symptoms. He had to go to the hospital and get all of these experimental drugs and treatments. And, you know, and I just showed you, we talked about October 7th and October 9th. And October 9th is the worst, but October 7th, I'm sure is going to be bad too. Unless the only thing that's shocking I could think of that would come out is you might see him acting, you know, like I said, like doing pictures or videos or something like that, acting like he's perfectly healthy. And it's not true. It's not true. He is not perfectly healthy. He's moving into a very, very dangerous time. And so the idea that 6 days later, he's going to be at the debate. I mean, come on. I got a 24-hour flu when I was last year when I was in Costa Rica and Nicaragua, just a 24-hour flu. And I was wiped out for days, you know. First of all, the entire day 24 hours that I was sick, but then even 2 days after that, I know the day after it, I slept all day. Then the day after that, I was able to get up for a short period of time and go out and eat a meal. But then immediately after, I had to go back and sleep the rest of the day. So, yeah, and that was just a 24-hour flu. So this is crazy, absolutely crazy. He's on the verge of death, and 6 days later, he's supposed to stand up and debate. Give me a break. I just don't see it happening. But if on the slightest chance that somehow he does manage to pull it off, this is going to be part of his undoing, because he's going to push himself too hard. And I especially see that with the, the funny thing about when I pull charts is it's similar to when you do tarot cards or this other kind of chart called an orrery chart, which is that the moment you draw up the chart, it gives you answers. Okay. So usually I'm picking the exact time and place of a chart, but I just wrote, will Trump attend the second debate, and put it for October 15th, because that's what I knew, was the day. And I just left it for Washington, D.C. in the morning. And I think because I pulled the chart this morning at 6:15 a.m. where I am, the program automatically plugged in 6:15 a.m. and I put in this other information. But I didn't change the time. And so what I want to say is that sometimes I've seen this happen many, many times, that just randomly you can get answers. Just like if you are pulling tarot cards, or just like if you draw up an orrery chart, there's something about the timing at that moment when you pull it, when you draw it, that in itself will have clues, even if it's not the exact time and place. That chart, just the simple fact that you happen to pull that chart, it has information in it. And that's why I'm saying, seeing here Mars, vertex, and Lilith all together. And then, of course, the sun is going to be in opposition to that, and square to Pluto and Saturn. Look at this. The sun is at 22 degrees of Libra, 31 minutes that morning. It moves into an exact square. Oh, that's why I pulled it. Okay, now I'm seeing it. Yeah, I did literally do that on purpose, because the sun was squaring Pluto at that moment. Yeah, at that morning. Okay. So yeah, come on. Sun squaring Pluto right over his vertex, and Mercury retrograde in Scorpio, still opposite Uranus, and Mars conjunct the vertex, and Lilith, also part of that T-square. There's just no way. In fact, this is actually a cardinal cross here, because it pulls in his natal Saturn and Venus in Cancer. Yeah, there's just no way. And if he tries to do it, this is going to really absolutely contribute to his undoing, partly because he'll push himself too hard. He may end up collapsing, not necessarily on live TV, but maybe later on. And so he'll set himself back. And furthermore, it also creates a potential of possibly infecting other people. Again, I don't know the exact length of time that a person is contagious, but I think that if he is displaying any symptoms at all, then he should definitely consider himself contagious. So those are the two worst things that could happen if he actually tries to make it to the debate, is that he will set himself back in terms of his own health, and he may end up endangering the lives of other people. So I just can't. I will actually be mind blown if he actually shows up at that debate. I don't see how he can do it. I don't see how a man of his age. I don't know if he has pre-existing conditions other than the fact that he is technically obese. So I guess he's probably in the category of morbidly obese. So, and that's definitely considered what they would call like a pre-existing condition. So yeah, this is crazy. It's just too crazy. I can't even wrap my head around it. It's just too crazy. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and bring this to a close. I think one more time, I'll just check over to those dates so we can see what else is coming. So now you know some possibilities for October 7th, though it could still be something even outside of that, because Uranus is the planet of unpredictability. Could also relate to Earth changes. You know, apparently there's another hurricane coming that may hit landfall in the Gulf, and I'm referring to the United States. And also, apparently there are still wildfires in the Pacific coast, and which I know just because I live in Colorado, and there's this constant like smoggy haze, and out here where I live, we don't have that. I live on the western slope. I don't live in Denver. And so we don't have a brown cloud out here. Okay. We get clear blue skies out here. So the fact that that smoke is making it all the way to the Rockies tells me, yeah, this fire's got to be really, really bad. And so those are a couple of examples of earth changes. A third one is the possibility of earthquakes or flooding, anything to do with water, because, you know, we've got water on one end and earth on the other end. So anything to do with water, the hurricane is certainly going to meet that criteria, but could be other things as well. Besides the hurricane, besides fires, could also be earthquakes or flooding, or I don't think there's going to be any blizzards, but yeah, that would be really shocking. Okay, so but those are all the possibilities for October 7th that I can think of. Could even be something outside of that, with Uranus being the planet of unpredictability. And then I talked a lot about what I think, what we're looking at for October 9th. And then beyond that, the next thing that happens is Mercury goes retrograde on October 13th, and stuff really starts to go haywire. And then Mars squares Jupiter on Sunday, October 18th. And, you know, if you want to read this, you can just pause the screen and you can read this and write down the dates. And then Mercury retrograde is opposite Uranus again on Monday, October 19th. And then, so I said more shocking words and information revealed, possibly related to something in the past coming to light. That could be his finances, could also be, what else? More about the CV, you know, more about people being infected, how they're being impacted, and how it's rippling out. So yeah, lots more information coming there. So all the Mercury alignments include its first opposition to Uranus on October 7th, then it's retrograde on October 13th, then it's second retrograde to Uranus on October 19th, and then Mercury stations direct on election day. And then I've mentioned many times, Trump's worst day is October 20th, when Saturn opposes his natal Venus. So the 19th and 20th are going to be horrible for him, absolutely horrible. Again, I think it's related to finances and or CV for him and for all the people he's come in contact with. And then full moon conjunct Uranus on October 31st. These alignments cause something to go off the rails massively. I'll talk more about that as we get closer to that. And then again, Mercury stations direct on election day, November 3rd. So we still got a lot ahead of us. Okay. But we've gotten through quite a lot here. God, amazing. Okay, that's it for today. So I will see you again in the next video. And as always, if you haven't yet subscribed, please click on the little red box in the corner and subscribe. And also ring the bell for notifications. I'm trying to do these every single day because there's so much going on in October. And then if you need a reading, you know, click on the link below. That'll take you to my webpage where you can sign up for a reading. And if you are interested in anything related to becoming self-employed or financial freedom, check out my financial freedom channel. The link's below, and I hope you'll go over there check out those videos and subscribe. Or if you just want to support me and help me build that channel, that would help me and anyone else who needs that information. And also, if you like this video, please click like and share with friends and family on social media, and leave your comments below. And thanks everyone for your news updates, putting them in the comments. I think that helps all of us. Okay, so that's it for today, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.